Hey everybody, it's Joey, Valley TCG. Hope everyone's having a good day, a good week. So today we are going to be talking about one of my favorite topics and one of my favorite TCGs, if not my maybe second favorite right now behind One Piece. It's Pokemon. And we're going to be talking about booster boxes, booster box prices, where they are right now, where they have been historically, and maybe some analogies to One Piece. And the reason I want to do this is because I think there's a lot of things that we can learn from Pokemon um, as we think about One Piece, where that IP can develop over time. Now that, we're what, 9 sets in, plus a couple of special sets in there, it's obviously there's a level of longevity that we have in One Piece. And, I think as the game evolves, we will, in my opinion, it's going to become more like Pokemon over time. Now, before I do that, please like, comment, and subscribe. Really appreciate everyone's support. We're just 20 subscribers away from 600. That's a lot. That's a lot, you guys. Like, thanks for tuning in. You guys are the best. Anyway, so let's talk about first of all, just a quick rundown of my thought process of why I think it's valuable to keep an eye on how Pokemon has evolved. So, does anybody know this guy? So, this guy is Masayoshi Son. He was the wealthiest person in Japan for a very long time. He started this company called SoftBank, and it sounds like a bank, but it's actually not. They're a telecommunications company. They're kind of like AT&T of Japan. It's, I believe, the third largest in Japan. And it's funny that he's actually more in the news today because he's very tied to uh, Jensen Huang, who's the CEO of NVIDIA. All right, so enough about really just the background here. Why I wanted to bring up this guy is because in the 2000s, around the dot-com era, he had a really smart take on the world where he said something that I think we can really use for the future. And he talked about the idea of a time machine, the time machine thesis. And what that means is when Asia around the 2000s or 1990s were developing, you can invest in companies in Asia, like Alibaba and, eventually Tencent and, these great Asian-based companies by looking at similar companies that have really done well in the United States. So he said, oh, well, Amazon's doing or starting off in the US. That's really interesting. Let's see if there's anything in Asia. Oh, this, brilliant guy, Jack Ma, is starting this company called Alibaba. Let's invest in that, right? And earn him a lot of money. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, long-winded, is because if we look at Pokemon, there is a really good analogy for One Piece. And the analogy is, how do we think these booster box prices can increase in value over time? And if you just kind of look, I mean, I guess the problem is this doesn't go back far enough, but booster box for Sword and Shield, I mean, no one wanted this set. This set everyone hated. So it was released right at the beginning of COVID. Oh man, that was almost 4 years. No, wait, that was almost 5 years ago, guys. What in the world? 5 years ago since the beginning of COVID. But anyways, so when this set came out, no one liked this set. Everyone thought the set was trash, and it kind of was. You didn't really have very good hits in here. The arts in here weren't really all that attractive. Only full arts were the chases in here. There weren't really even alternate arts in here. But guess what? Booster box prices in 5 years have gone from, you probably were able to pick this up for under $100 a box to $325 a box. That's incredible. Another good example, Rebel Clash, also known as Rebel Trash. No one liked this set. I mean, this set was universally panned. The only thing I think saved some of the products in here was that they didn't really print that many of these. But man, $230 a booster box. Darkness Ablaze, they did a huge reprint for this. You could find this everywhere for $80, $90 a booster box. $165 a box. Incredible. Vivid Voltage, same thing. Massive reprint. There were no chases aside from Chonkachu, Rainbow Chonkachu, even the regular Chonkachu. So non-rainbow version is not worth very much. Still, $152. Battle Styles, same thing. You could still buy this on TCG Player. Everyone hated this set. There are a few cool alternate arts in here, to be fair. The different Urshifu alternate arts in here, and maybe that's. I think there was like a gold card in here, right? That was pretty. Let's just take a look really quickly. Oh no, I'm thinking of Tyranitar. Tyranitar. Everyone likes this card, but everyone hated this set because the pull rates were really, really low. The arts weren't really amazing, and look, they reprinted the crap out of this one. I mean, $134. Chilling Rain, also known as Chilling Pain, which is the next set that came out. $250 a booster box. About 2 years ago at this time, you couldn't get rid of Chilling Rain. I mean, this was 2 years ago around this time was when booster box prices hit maybe around $80, $85 a box. People were trying to dump this. Rudy from Alpha Investments, he bought a bunch of these. I wish I bought a case, but obviously not enough. But man, booster box prices here. This one just went. I mean, it's slowly edging up, right? And then of course, I mean, this thing was a hit on release. Everyone's favorite. I think right now, even people are chasing this. People think that this might even go up higher in price with the new Evolution set being released in the Scarlet Violet block. So this set, Evolving Skies, hit rates were horrible, but the arts in here were absolutely incredible with the alternate arts. And right now, booster box prices are getting close to 1,000. I think it's going to break 1,000 by the end of next year. Well, probably earlier than that, but I do think this might come down after Christmas, just like all sets tend to do. By next Christmas, I think this is going over meaningfully over $1,000. I believe this is going to be around $1,200 a booster box, but that's just my opinion. Maybe $1,300. I mean, if the recession hits and everyone needs to sell their products because you can't eat Pokemon cards during a recession, this might come down. But before then, I think this is, or until that point, that could happen in 5 years, that could happen in a year, that could happen in 10 years. But before then, I think this product is going to keep increasing in price. So now that we've talked about 7 sets So these are the first seven sets that were not special releases like Celebrations or Shining Fates that were released in the Sword and Shield era. I just want to talk about maybe some analogies between these sets and One Piece. So I think One Piece, if we're thinking of OPO1, it's going to be some blend of this set, Sword and Shield, and Evolving Skies. And there's two reasons for that. One, there are awesome looking arts in OPO1, and two, it's rarity, right? What's really kind of floating Sword and Shield's booster boxes prices, they didn't print too much of this set. If you guys might not remember this if you've joined the hobby within the last couple of years. This set was, again, at the very beginning of COVID. And when people got into COVID, they got their stimmy checks from the government. Their LLCs were given, $20,000, $30,000 loans that eventually weren't asked to be paid back. Then they started buying booster boxes, and that really hit around this period, Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage, right? So that's when Pokemon came in and started reprinting booster boxes, really upping supply because there was just such a significant amount of demand out there for Pokemon at that point. And they were buying like this set. So this set had that dragon or that Charizard, your typical favorite fire dragon. Yeah, so it's this card. This used to be like, a $200-300 card. Uh, Wait, is it this one? What in the world? It doesn't look like the one I was thinking in my head, but I think it is this one. Yeah, let's just double check. I don't think it was any. I mean, it has to be that one, right? Like, it's not any of these other cards. But in any case, man, just look how small this set is. There's just not that much in here. I'm going from high to low prices. So, yeah, I mean, these were all the cards that were released in this set. Just a tiny set, a few full arts in here, none of which, maybe outside of the scissor, is really that interesting. And they reprinted a ton of this set, right? And even then, booster box prices are still $160 booster box. With this card previously being a huge, huge, huge chase for everybody involved. So, that's why I think OPO1 is maybe closer to this set because they just didn't print that many OPO1s, just like how they didn't print that many Sword and Shield base sets. Now, OPO2, I don't want to say it's a Rebel Clash because OPO2, I mean, you still have that Ace manga in there. Still, some cool arts in there, but it might be closer to Rebel Clash. You're going to be, they didn't print that many of OPO2, and as a result, I think prices are just going to naturally be high, relatively high, and maybe slower growth on top. Just kind of like this, right? High naturally and kind of slower growth, and it dipped during the period that no one's buying Pokemon in the middle of 2024. And maybe a little bit like Chilling Reign to some extent as well, because again, you do have really, really nice art in here. Yeah, I mean, this might be your equivalent to the Ace manga Ace. And then if we're thinking of maybe OPO3, you don't really have a top chase. maybe something like this, right? Like a Vivid Voltage. Um, well, maybe a Vivid Voltage, maybe like Rebel Clash. Again, they didn't print that many of this set either. OPO4, that was the one that they did a realistic reprint given the demand that was starting to pop off at that point. But the cards in there are pretty good. So maybe that is closer to like a Chilling Reign, or maybe like a Battle Styles, right? Something between the two. Still a pretty good set where you have decent chase cards, but they printed more, so therefore it's going to cap the upside of the of the booster box. And Evolving Skies, I think if you were thinking of OPO5, OP09, and Premium Collection 01, I think that's something closer to an Evolving Skies. Those sets, maybe OP01, are something closer to Evolving Skies, where you have awesome, awesome cards, really fun to rip, um, really collectible. People are going to want those sets on their shelves. Um, Maybe less 09, but I don't know if that's just because I'm seeing 09 recently. It's pretty available. A booster case right now, it's like 1400, 1450 shipped. So pretty cheap for its second reprint. But and people aren't ripping it as much as they have OPO5. So there's more inventory online right now. So maybe less OPO9, but definitely OPO5. People absolutely love that set. Ripped a crap ton of those. PRBO1, they also didn't really print all that much of PRBO1. I think that's closer to Evolving Skies. And then if we're thinking of maybe some of the next sets that have come out, '06, I think '06 is pretty good. Maybe like a Chilling Reign, because you do have Manga Zoro. '07, just kind of run of the mill. If I had Astral Radiance up, if you guys know about that set, that's probably closer to an OPO7. And OPO8, everyone hates that set. I'm not a fan of it myself. That's maybe closer, and they printed a ton. That's maybe closer to Vivid Voltage. Yeah, I think Vivid Voltage, or maybe even Darkness Ablaze. Ugh. The set just, there's not much there. Printed a ton, no chases, very disappointing. But even then, right? As we think of new sets that'll continuously come online, as One Piece kind of normalizes in demand and really starts as they do more competitions around the US, they've released more sets, get more players into the base, into the collector scene, maybe push more inventory through retail so that, scalpers aren't just all showing up on release weekend, and going to every single Walmart and buying all the blisters, and going to every single Target and buying all the blisters. Once that issue starts normalizing and you have more players who want to play the game or are able to access the game, I do think that over time, these booster boxes of One Piece will do better. I know this year, Pokemon has taken a lot of the eyeballs away from One Piece, and they've scalpers and money that want to be part of the game. They're not really part of One Piece this year like they were last year, right? If anyone remembers, OPO5, that was closer to $300 booster box at one point. That was crazy. That was 6 months after release. They were just not servicing demand at that point. So, I do think that over time, after the reprints in the different sets that we've seen, like OP05, right? Let's just go to that. Awakening of the New Era. I mean, it's a $169 booster box for a booster box that should be 105 MSRP, staying pretty strong around that price. Yeah, we're starting to see that trickle down. Again, that's just money exiting the game, going towards Pokemon right now because of the Pokemon craze. But I mean, realistically, we're seeing a lot of stability in this product after this huge reprint, right? It came all the way down from 300 all the way down after the reprints, waves and waves and waves of reprints. It hit a low of 120, and then now it's recovering. We're seeing stability, you know, and that's a really good thing. I think that's a really good thing for One Piece. I think that, again, I've talked about this in prior videos. I think that just means there's a serious group of players that are, and some collectors that are keeping this set alive, keeping One Piece alive, and everything comes and goes in cycles, right? You guys remember this guy? He was the wealthiest person in Japan during .com. His company completely got obliterated when the .com bubble burst, and is on he is on record for being the person who's lost the most amount of money in the world ever, right? I mean, obviously that's paper wealth because, you know, stocks, it goes up, goes down. If you don't sell it, you're not realizing gains. But he lost the most amount of money in the world. And then he came back, right? His net worth is up to 30 billion again. He's starting to climb his way up. He's connected to NVIDIA. He's doing all these different other things. Some of them successful, some of them not. I think he mostly, just made his money back simply by existing. He didn't really make that many great investments between then and now. And you don't have to be bottom ticking. You don't have to be thinking this price is going to go up. Just like Masayoshi Son made his money back over the last 25 years, 25 years. Over time, if Bandai continues to invest in this IP, continues to kind of support this IP, and I do think that they will, and I do think that One Piece, the underlying IP, the manga, the anime that's going to keep coming out, and even when this is done, maybe they'll do another one, kind of like what they did with Naruto, right? So I do think that this IP is going to keep living on for a very, very long time, and it's going to be phenomenal. If you guys are collectors now, you have one of each booster box for every single set. I think that's the absolute right thing to do. And yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a little bit deeper than some of my prior videos. A lot more analogies and bringing in a little bit of outside information from history. If you guys like that, let me know. What do you guys think? Do you think One Piece still has longevity? Or are you like, I had a comment from somebody who's like, well, who's actually still buying One Piece? Can't believe people are still buying One Piece. Well, I am. I'm still buying One Piece. I think One Piece is awesome. I do think that it's in a much healthier part of its life cycle than what we saw the last year, which is not great. Maybe not the last year, but maybe like a year ago. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think. If you're still buying One Piece, let me know. If you're not, let me know your reasons. Do you think what I said today makes sense to you? Anyways, thanks, guys, and I will talk to you guys next time.